Hi, and welcome to the next episode of the Naria Lemaire Show, and I'm your host, Naria. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. We have such a special episode today. Now, I am a registered dietitian who specializes in gut health and longevity. Now, if my episodes have brought any value to your health journey, please subscribe, please comment, and share the videos. If you feel that your family and friends can benefit from this information, please feel free to share. Okay, I would definitely appreciate that. Now, today we are going to talk a little bit about flavonoids. I've been getting some questions on Naria. What are flavonoids? Are they good? Should I have them every day? Do they benefit gut health? Are they going to help me with healthy aging? Are they going to prevent these chronic conditions you always talk about? What's up with them? So today we're going to get into flavonoids, and also I'm going to add some screenshots of research studies that talk about them. Okay, friends, so first, what are flavonoids? Flavonoids are plant compounds that have amazing properties, including anti-inflammatory and antioxidants. How cool is that? Like, what? So they have these two properties, and you're telling me if I consume them, I'm going to go into the anti-inflammatory diet? Yes, I'm always preaching anti-inflammation. Now, that may look a little bit different from one person to the other just for sustainability reasons, but the core foundation is going to be very similar for most. Okay? Now, they do inhibit the inflammatory response. Inflammation starts to happen. Flavonoid comes and says, oh, you hold your horses. Okay, you hold them there. We don't need that right now. Okay, now just to clarify, remember, inflammation is part of the body's defense mechanism to protect you. Your body will always be for you. It will always try to protect you. Just sometimes it's kind of overprotecting in a sense. So that's where we have that when there's chronic inflammation, like we talked a few episodes ago, that leaky gut, that type of situation can just cause continuous inflammation, which we don't want. We want to just live and be chill. Now, if you are my client or you have been listening to all my videos, what's one thing I'm always talking about? I'm going to let you hold on to that. And if you have an answer, just keep it. I'm going to share the screenshot here. I have it on my screen, so I'm going to read it while you have it for my individuals who are hearing this in their car. Now, flavonoids are dietary, non-nutrient, bioactive with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties like we just talked about. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, legumes, and teas are rich in flavonoids. Guys, what am I always talking about? I'm always talking about that freaking fiber. How's your fiber? I have this 30-day challenge on reaching your fiber goals. It's literally gradually increasing you up there. I'm always preaching fiber, protein, fiber, protein. That's literally what you're going to hear on my mouth all the time because they're so important. They have flavonoids. Like, you see it's starting to connection. When I talk about fiber, it's so much more than just, oh, she's talking about fiber so I can go to the bathroom better. If I could just count how many times someone's like, Nari, but I have normal bowel movements. No, you're not understanding here. It's so much more than bowel movements, friend. If you only understand the vast implications of the fiber, you would just probably be making these episodes too on fiber. Okay, so that is one screenshot on the research article. I definitely encourage you to read it. And again, you don't have to be in a rush. Just read it little by little so you can really start to see why I'm so passionate about the gut. It's so important to take care of it because, again, everything starts in the gut. Now, again, I'm talking about reducing the inflammation, getting that gut in order. But what does that mean? I know sometimes it's like, what do these things mean, reducing inflammation? Sometimes we get cut or something happens like on our skin and we're like, oh, it's a little bit inflamed, it's red. We'll just kind of take care of it and it's gone. Remember, your skin has its own type of gut bacteria, or not gut bacteria, oh my gosh, bacteria too, right? That similar effect will be in the gut too, and we want to reduce that inflammation because chronic inflammation increases your risk for Alzheimer's, for colon cancer, for diabetes, for cardiovascular diseases. I mean, the list goes on. So it's not just let me get my gut fixed, let me get those flavonoids in, but we have to understand the why. when we understand the why, I feel like it pushes us more to do these things, to really eat those fruits and veggies. And this is coming from someone that almost avoided fruits for like half her life. Go back to one of the episodes where I talk about when I was a kid asking the doctor about fiber or fruits and veggies. Do I have to eat fruits and veggies, doctor? And I'm telling my mom, I'm going to ask the doctor because I don't believe you. I don't think I need fruits and veggies. And I asked the doctor, and the doctor's like, technically you could live a long time and not have vegetables and fruit. So from then on, I held that like no other. Anytime my mom was like, you need to eat your fruits, I'm like, the doctor said no. Look at me now. Isn't that funny? Now I focus on the gut. Oh, how the tables have turned. Now, flavonoids, they help improve the intestinal barrier of your gut. Now, if you don't know what that means, I want you to go back about 2 episodes from here where I slightly touch on leaky gut. And I'll put this picture here just so you can see. But you can see here where there's that where I put that circle. It shouldn't be there. All right, so things are leaching through there, and you see the top area, that's the commensal bacteria. That's what I'm fighting for you guys to have a good balance of the good and the bad. Then we have that layer there. That's what we want to strengthen. A lot of the clients that I have don't have that strong, so we really have to create protocols to strengthen that so we can shut that little hole up. Now, what happens when things go through that? And what you'll learn on that episode is the unwanted things will pass by, and if it's too much, your body will have that inflammation, and that inflammation will go into that alert. And again, that chronic inflammation will increase your risk of those chronic diseases that we talked about. Yes, that does include that IBS that I get a lot of clients with. So guys, you have to start with what is the problem, what's going on in the gut. You get doing these functional tests, like I said, like the GI map, the test that I do, the stool test, really gives us insight on what is actually happening. You don't want to just focus on one type of bacteria or probiotic. You really have to see the whole picture, because what you could be doing, and I'm not saying you are, but what you could be doing is taking a certain probiotic, you eat it, the probiotic basically goes in your gut, does a quick little vacation, and then you poop it right out. We want those bacteria to settle in. We want them to build their home, to build that foundation, to build like a 30-story house, and like you're in here for life. That's what we want. We don't want them to take them and poop them out. Take and poop. That's not the goal here. That's more again of a bandit approach. We're not doing bandit approaches here. We need to get to the root problem, and we have to close that gut there. And part of it is to have that strong intestinal barrier that the flavonoids are going to help support, which we know again is the fiber. You see these connections here, guys. When I make these videos, when I say these things, I am not joking. It's so serious when I'm talking about your fiber intake to feed those probiotics, to increase that gut health. There's so much. I hope this is really bringing more insight on why I'm so passionate about this. Now, I know I get a lot of questions from individuals who are doing keto diets. Are the keto good? Are the keto bad? And at the end of the day, I don't have an answer for you today on this video, because it's going to be dependent on how the person's doing keto, because you could be doing keto in a healthy way. Now, let's say you are doing keto and you're on that higher fat diet, higher protein, which most are. I mean, hello. The thing is, the flavonoids can actually reduce the inflammation from that high fat diet. Isn't that crazy? Like, think about that. That's absolutely amazing. But again, the flavonoids comes from those carbs, and some individuals on the keto are really like anti any carb. So that's I'm not going to support that at all. But those flavonoids, guys, these fruits, these vegetables, they have these benefits. Now, I know I work with a lot of individuals with like colitis, IBS, and one of the biggest questions is, do I have to live this am I going to live with this with all of my life? Like, I was told it's going to be for the rest of my life. I just can't see myself having this bloating, this diarrhea, this constipation, this gas all the time until I die. Now, with that, we have to go back to kind of like, what's the root problem here? We have to get back to the root problem. And with that, that's where we do the functional testing. We get to that root problem. We see what we need to do. We do it. We do these protocols, and we see where we're at that point. A lot of the times, like I said, I get individuals who come to me, work with me for a few months. And again, it is a process. It's not a 1 or 2, 3, 4 month process. You have to be patient with your gut healing. It doesn't heal overnight over all the damage that's been done for years. It's mind blowing. Sometimes people feel like it's going to be done overnight. Guys, friends, I'm telling you, no. You have to be patient. It's not going to be done overnight. And if you want something to be done overnight, I would definitely not be the dietitian to work with. I have to get to the root problem, and I know for a fact it is not going to be overnight, and I have to set realistic expectations, period. But anyhow, going back to the colitis, the IBS, and so forth, you can manage them so good that you almost feel like it was a thing of the past. And like I mentioned before, probably my last few videos, it could be to a point that they're basically resolved, you're good, you move on with life. We specialize that anti-inflammatory diet, which again is everyone has that core, but it's going to be a little bit different for most people, just because of cultural foods, quality of life, and things like that really do matter. So we can be to a point that it's a thing of the past to they're very well managed, maybe once in a blue moon they happen. And these are for people who are very compliant with the plan, that are doing the protocol exactly like I'm telling them to do, are following the diet like I'm telling them to do. Individuals who maybe aren't showing up to our sessions, are maybe not taking the protocols like I'm telling them, aren't changing their diet like I'm telling them, their symptoms just really kind of hang out. Maybe they get a little bit better, but not nowhere near where I want them to be. And it's because of compliance. At the end of the day, I always tell my prospects, my clients, I cannot care more about your health than you do. If you're not willing to do these changes, there's no way this is going to work long term, because one day you're going to graduate from the program. You're not going to have me in your life anymore. You're not going to have someone reminding you over and over. So we need to make sure while we're working together that we're building sustainable habits. Otherwise, why are we here? We could be at the beach, or paddleboarding somewhere, doing something else. We don't have to be here on this call, right? So, friends, if you're dealing with some type of gut issues, I encourage you to really think, am I getting to the root cause or to the root problem? Or am I just putting Band-Aids here? Because those Band-Aids will be, you could do it for the rest of your life. Is this really what you see yourself, how you see yourself living for the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, however long years? Is this really how you see it? Because I don't think it is. Now, I want to share this last shot of the research study. I thought it was super cool. So here's the study. I'm just going to read it on my computer while you guys read it on here. Recent human intervention studies. Preliminary studies with resveratrol, curcumin, green tea, and bilberry for treatment of UC, ulcerative colitis, have been promising. Guys, I love to read research. It's you'll find I'll do it a lot. So now I'm going to include it here because I'm doing it here. I'm doing it in my life anyway. But it's one thing to read something like at a book at school or read a research study. But when you see it live, when you see how it affects people's quality of life, that is a game changer. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I know the research studies are telling me this works. I know, I see, I get it. I trust it. I know. But when someone comes to me and it's like, Nari, I'm feeling A, B, and C, I just can't do this anymore. So I didn't think this was possible. That's really what pushes me to keep reading these thousands of hours of research articles, to continue learning about these different functional tests, to continue learning about probiotics. I love it. And it's something that really works for so many people. If you haven't considered it, just think about it. If you have any questions, if you're like, I don't really know about it, but maybe I have a question, let's do a free discovery call. It's just a call, just us talking. There's no selling, just really me learning about you, and then you asking your questions about the functional nutrition tests. Now, any questions you may have of what we talked about today, please comment below. If you feel more comfortable emailing me, go for it. My email is narilamaire@gmail.com. Until next time, have a good one, friends. Bye.